being here tonight. As senior class president, it is my pleasure to introduce this year's graduation speaker. Coach Gary Kinzer works as a secretary at Fort Defiance High School and coaches JV, girls soccer, and wrestling. The class of 2019 selected Coach K because he interacts with the most students and knows the majority of us personally. Coach Kinzer is also passionate about writing, supportive, and kind towards every student in our school. Most importantly, Coach K's character and personality are the embodiment of the Indian way, as he often demonstrates the key components of integrity, humility, and leadership. Please join me in welcoming this year's graduation speaker, Coach Gary Kinzer.
Hello, class of 2019. Sweet hats. I usually spend graduation in the cheap seats in the back of the room. I miss you guys. One reason I sat back there is I've never quite figured out what time I have to be here to sit anywhere else. And the other reason is wrestling coaches aren't supposed to cry. And when pieces of my heart have walked across the stage, I can't help it. And I needed a place to hide. There isn't anywhere to hide up here, so I'm sorry if you catch me with more tears than all the mamas combined. I promise this is a one-day-a-year thing. I'm pretty tough the other 364. I'm not much of a speaker, I'm a storyteller. I write stories all the time. Maybe you've read a few on Court Sports. So here's a story for you. Just over 6 years ago, I was broken. My life was one big failure after another. I started an unsuccessful business and was working 100 plus hours a week with no paycheck. One Sunday, my wife whispered to me at church, and she said, "I think we're supposed to be in the valley." She had to whisper in church because so nobody would look at her funny, and so the preacher wouldn't invite me up on stage and talk in front of a lot of people because I don't really like doing that. Now, to most people in Ohio, that wouldn't make a lot of sense. But to me, I knew exactly what she was talking about. You see, I met my lovely bride right down the road at JMU. I had just written a life-changing movie and sold it to a producer in between the Blue Ridge Mountains. Just like most things in my life, at that point, the movie failed. The timing was off, and when the stock market crashed post 9/11, my dreams crashed with it. But in that failure, I found her. So there I was, with a last-ditch attempt to save my world in Ohio. I applied to work in the school I grew up in. I didn't get the job. The people I worked so hard to impress my entire life were not impressed with me. That hurt. Another failure. I listened to her that day in church, and in the same whispering voice I said, "Let's go." When I got home that day, I looked up coaching jobs in the Shenandoah Valley, and I applied to everyone I could find. I applied to Harrisonburg, I applied to Central and Woodstock, and I applied to Fort Defiance. Not long after I applied, my phone lit up with a number from 540. Mark Mace told me about the job and about the school. Finally, something in my life was looking up, but it was 368.7 miles away and just an interview. I've never been used to feeling small. I set records every time my heart broke. When I failed big. So instead of just driving down for the interview like any normal person, we loaded up a moving van. And just so I was reminded how much I'd failed up to that point in my life, the brakes didn't work. So we loaded up a different moving van. We didn't have jobs when we came to the valley. All we had was faith in each other. And since I failed over and over again, I figured the worst that could happen was another failure. I was used to it. When I drove to the interview the next day, I noticed something familiar. Augusta Stone Church was on the corner where I turned. That was a church my wife chose to be married at because the playground was designed by her grandfather. and she wanted our wedding pictures there. We started our life together right down the street from Fort Defiance. Years before the interview, I turned around in the Fort parking lot because I missed the turn of my wedding. I sat in the interview and somehow walked out with a Fort shirt on. Mr. Mason's first hire. I became an Indian that day, and my life has changed because of it. A coaching stipend doesn't stretch far, so I became a substitute teacher. I spent a lot of time in the classroom with kids a little older than you, kids who have left the halls of the school to carve out their own piece of this world. They were the first Indians I loved. Some of them have come back around to get hugs and fist bumps. Some of them have stopped me on the street to do the same. Some I've never seen again, but they still hang out in my heart, the place I've stuffed all you in. Substitute teaching was not enough. 3 days a week was not enough. I wanted to spend every day at Fort because you brought me joy. And I tried to bring you joy too. If there was joy in my life, I didn't feel my failures. All failure's been there. I've been here 6 years and had 7 cars. But I don't feel failure. I smile through it. You did that. I applied to a couple of full-time jobs at Fort and didn't get them. Luckily, for all of you, Ms. Castro runs the cafeteria instead of me. And my wife would be the first to let you know Mr. Klein and his crew are much better without me being a part of the janitorial staff. At the end of your 8th grade year, a secretary spot opened up, and I applied again. Half my day would be spent in the library, the other half in the office. Finally, it was a fit. And no matter how many of your parents have asked to talk to a real secretary when I answered the phone, I've sat in that office every day to be around you. I filled my world with words, so I knew just what book you were looking for. I did that for the chance to walk down those halls to see kids I've fallen in love with. I did that so maybe, just maybe, I can give you a fragment of the joy you've given a guy who'd given up on himself. It's not our failures which define us. It never has been. You're all going to fail at something, and it's going to hurt. And maybe you'll fail so much you get used to it like I did. Don't let that stop you. The greatest moments of my life were built on yesterday's failures. Money doesn't define you either. You're all going to go out in the world and make some money, some more than others. But remember, money does not equal success. Some of the most successful people I know don't have much of it. You call them teachers. Stuff doesn't define you either. No matter how cool you feel in that Supreme shirt and Gucci belt, I know plenty of people in a decent hoodie who feel just as good. I know plenty of people who love their car, which just gets them from point A to point B, a car which is not much to look at, but is reliable. In that regard, if you know one, hit me up. I'll need it soon. I'll tell you what defines you. I'll tell you what equals success. I guess that's why you put me up here, because you think I know some big secret. I guess that's why I agreed stepping out of my comfort zone, getting away from the keyboard, and in front of the scary microphone, in front of these scary people you call adults. There is no secret. In fact, I hope you spread it everywhere you go. It's love. I love every single one of you. I hope you know that. I hope you felt that. I hope you know wherever you go, there's a weird bald guy at Fort Defiance that carries you around in his heart. And I'm just one of many who does. You are loved. You are so loved. Please remember that. I think I'm supposed to say something along the lines of go out in the world and be great. At least that's how I think you're supposed to wrap up a graduation speech. It's hard to hear back there. But that's not how I want to wrap this up. And I have a microphone to deal with. Instead, I'll end it with this. Go out in the world and share your heart with as many people as you can. This world could use some love. This world could be a better place because of your heart. My world is. Never let anyone tell you you can't change the world. You already have. Mine. Thank you, sincerely. Today is the best day ever. Until tomorrow.
Hello, Alex.